Do you like hard-boiled eggs, but you're unsure of the best way to cook them? Or you struggle with peeling them? Well, in this video, I'm going to show you how to make perfect hard-boiled eggs that are easy to peel and taste great. So stay tuned. I'm Zach from Scenic Sights and Bites. If this is your first time watching, welcome to our channel, where we give valuable information on cooking, travel, and the ketogenic diet, including free recipes for you to download. Hard-boiled eggs are great day or night. They're the perfect go-to snack. They're great on their own as a meal, and they're great when you add them into other meals. A couple of my favorite hard-boiled egg recipes came from my grandma, who made the most amazing potato salad and deviled eggs. If you want to know how to make great tasting deviled eggs, I'm going to be releasing a video in the next few days that it's going to show you 4 different deviled egg recipes that you're going to want to try. So, with that said, let's get started. So you'd think a hard-boiled egg would be easy, right? You take an egg, you boil it until it's hard. There's actually a lot more to it, and there's a lot of different opinions on the best way to make it. So after years of trying different methods and combining different tips and tricks that I've heard about, I'm going to show you the method that works the best for me. And I think it's going to work the best for you. And it might just surprise you how to do it. Okay, so you're going to need a large pot. And you want it to be large enough so when the eggs are in their single file, they're not crowded. Okay, you're going to need some water, obviously. We're boiling them. Some white vinegar, some table salt, or any kind of salt really, should be fine. A large bowl for an ice bath. Ice, water, again, when that comes time. And some kind of a slotted spoon. So first things first, we're going to boil the water first and then put the eggs in the boiling water. So let's do that. Okay, so we've got our water. Now, how much water do you put in? Well, you want to put in about 4 inches. If you're not sure how much 4 inches is, just look at the egg, and with the egg standing up, you want the water to be about 1 inch above the egg, okay? And I guess the important thing is, you want to decide how many eggs you're going to cook. That's going to decide the size of the pot, right? I'm going to be cooking 12 eggs here for the purpose of this, and because I typically cook 12 at a time. Put the pot on the stove. We're going to turn it up to high. Okay, so you're going to want to add about 1/4 teaspoon of salt, or you know what, you can even just give it a bit of a sprinkle. That'll be fine too. And we're going to add a tablespoon of vinegar. And it doesn't have to be exact, but roughly. If you've got a bigger pot, add more. Smaller pot, you can add less. And just to help bring this to a boil faster, I'm going to throw the lid on it. So why are we adding salt and vinegar? Well, 2 reasons. One, by having the salt and vinegar in there, if an egg does happen to crack while it's cooking, it's going to prevent the egg from kind of spewing out and contaminating the water. 2, it helps to soften the shell. So when the shell is slightly softened, then it makes it a lot easier for peeling. So we're just going to let it do its thing. Once the water starts to boil, we'll come back and carry on from there. Okay, so I can hear the water is starting to sound like it's about to start boiling. See a little bit of steam coming out. When the water just begins to boil, we're going to lower the eggs into the water, and that's where the slotted spoon comes in handy. And you want to do it fairly quick because you want them all to cook about the same time. Okay. Okay, we're going to put the lid on, set our timer, and you cook them for 12 to 14 minutes, depending on your altitude. There's a bunch of different factors. I find 13 minutes works great for me. Okay, so the water came to a boil. We lowered the eggs in there, covered it up, we reduced the heat, and we set the timer for 13 minutes in this case, but you can pick somewhere between 12 and 14 and see what works best for you. You don't want to overcook the eggs. If you overcook them, you're going to get that kind of grayish green looking ring around the yolk. Now, that's not going to hurt you, but it's just not pretty. Okay, so while the eggs are cooking, rather than wasting time, what we want to do is get our ice bath ready. So we're going to get a couple of cups of ice. Okay, so you can see I've got about 2.5 cups of ice here. If I went 3 in a bowl this size, that'd be fine. There's lots of room. So now I'm going to run the tap, get that water nice and cold, add it to this till it's about 1/3 or half of the way full, still leaving enough room for the eggs. And we're just gonna let that sit and let that water get even colder. So once the eggs come out of the pot, they go in here and they're gonna instantly be shocked, instantly stop cooking, and that's also gonna help with peeling the eggs. Okay, so we've got about 6 seconds left. Just give that icy water a stir. Make sure it's nice and evenly cool. Timer goes off, heat goes off, lid comes off. And immediately, we're going to pull these eggs out because they're still cooking. So how long are we going to leave the eggs in the ice bath? 15 to 20 minutes minimum, okay? You want to really make sure they're nice and cold. Okay, so once they come out of the ice bath, if you're not eating them right away, then you're going to want to store them in the fridge. Now, if I get my eggs by the dozen, which I usually do, I'll take the container and I'll mark HB on it. Throw the hard-boiled eggs back in that, put it in the fridge, that way I don't accidentally grab the wrong one. I know which ones are the hard-boiled. Hard-boiled eggs can sometimes stink up the fridge a little bit. You can either put them in a sealed Tupperware container, you can put them in a bowl, cover them with plastic wrap. They're going to last you several days, a week, so you don't have to worry too much about spoilage unless you don't eat very many. And if that's the case, don't make very many. Okay, so from time to time, you're just going to want to move those eggs around. Okay, so the eggs sat in the ice bath about 20 minutes. I've drained the water and I've got a storage container here. Now, I store them with the shells on. Just give each one a kind of a quick dry and put it in there. Okay. It just, sometimes it comes off in one big piece. Oh, look at that. That egg just practically, look at how much of that shell. One giant piece came off. I bet half of yous or more are here because you hate peeling your eggs. You want to know, how can I get this peel off nice and easy? So a couple of tricks. Start with eggs that are about a week old or maybe a little bit older. But this will work with newer eggs, just not all of them. Okay, so let's take our egg out. Here we go. Grab one egg. Okay, so what is the trick to peeling a hard-boiled egg? First thing you're going to want to do, tap the wide end a couple of times. Don't tap it too hard. You're not trying to break the egg inside. You just want to crack it. And then flip it around. Crack the point a few times. And then take it, and you can try rolling it between your hands. I find it easier if you roll it on a hard surface like a cutting board or table. I've got the napkin on here because it makes for easier cleanup. But just gently, okay? Gently roll it back and forth on there. Again, you're not trying to damage anything. Give it a couple of spins. You don't need very much time. It's usually easier to start at the big end and just start peeling. You're going to see the membrane there. Get your finger under the membrane. And once you get it going, it just, sometimes it comes off in one big piece. Oh, look at that. That egg just practically, look at how much of that shell. One giant piece came off. Now, before I do anything with this egg, I like to give it a quick rinse, just to get any little bits of shell that are on there. Now, if you're having a hard time, if you've done all these things, and you're having a hard time and the egg shell still wants to stick to the egg, try taking that one egg, and it's usually just one out of a batch. Go run it under cold water while you peel it. And the cold water just helps it to come off real easy. But there we have one perfect egg, nice and smooth. I'll try and show the camera how pretty that is. Look at that. Nice and smooth, no damage anywhere. That is a beautiful egg. What does it look like inside? Let's find out. Look at that. The only damage to the egg was from my egg slicer. Look at how perfect that is. It's a nice color. Take the white off. It's yellow around the edges. Not gray, not green. Yeah, no, this egg tastes good. Super easy to peel. It took me way longer to peel it on camera. If I was just doing this for myself, it would have been super fast. In the description down below, you're going to find a link to the recipe. Go ahead and click on that. That'll take you to the recipe page on our website where you can view the recipe, download the recipe, print the recipe. And there's other recipes. Feel free to explore them and do the same thing. Now, Go make some hard-boiled eggs and come back in the comments below. Tell me how well this worked for you, or if you have a different method that works better for you. I'd love to hear from you. Smash that like button and feel free to share it with anybody you know is going to get value from this video as well. And for more Scenic Sights and Bites content, cooking tips, travel tips, keto recipes, and more, hit the red subscribe button. Right beside it is that bell. Click on the bell, click the all button so you get notified every time we release a new video. Now, if you're wanting to lose weight on the keto diet and you don't know much about it, or you're afraid that you're going to miss out on all the good foods, the favorite foods that you love so much, why don't you go ahead and click on that link up here. For other great Scenic Sights and Bites content, go ahead and click on the link down here. That'll take you to something else, and it's going to be just as good. On behalf of Kelly, myself, Zach, and hey, the Scenic Sights and Bites brand, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.